Subaru was one of the first brands to launch an estate SUV crossover, and today's Outback continues to fight in what's these days a growing sector. The Audi A6 Allroad, Mercedes E-Class All-Terrain and Volvo V90 Cross Country all blend estate car bodies with jacked-up off-road styling. While most rivals offer plentiful choice to buyers, Subaru prefers to keep things simple. There's just the one trim, SE Premium, and only two engines, a 2.0-liter diesel or 2.5-liter petrol. Both are all-wheel drive and both offer an automatic, only the diesel has a manual alternative. Wisely, most buyers go for diesel. It's not particularly fast, but is strong at low revs, and usually more responsive than the petrol. Apart from some vibration through the steering wheel, it's refined as well, except at high revs, something the characteristics of the CVT gearbox accentuates. We'd stick with manual, although if you want ultimate refinement, the petrol is still better. Subaru is known for its great handling cars, and even this Outback is infused with character. It does roll a bit, but grips is strong and the confidence from the all-wheel drive system's traction is reassuring. Pity the ride is so harsh at lower speeds, it never truly settles, even at speed. Compared to fancy models such as the Audi A6 Allroad, the Subaru's cabin lacks flair. There are too many cheap-looking materials, and although a 7.0-inch touchscreen is standard, the system isn't very intuitive or easy to use. Build quality, however, is excellent, and the driver's seat is very comfortable. All-round visibility is good and the dashboard is logically laid out. The Outback is extremely roomy as well, both for two tall adults in the front and two lanky teenagers in the back. Subaru includes lots of ultimate slots as well, such as large door bins and a big cubby at the base of the dash. Further back, the boot is very impressive. It's as big on paper as larger cars such as a Volvo V90 Cross Country. It's cleanly shaped, with no awkward intrusions, and the wide boot opening isn't too high off the ground, making loading heavy items easier. The rear seats split 60/40 and, pleasingly, they lie completely flat when folded. Euro NCAP gave the Outback a full 5-star crash safety score, and security experts class its break-in resistance as excellent. There's a huge amount of equipment as standard too: sat-nav, leather seats, LED headlights, rear-view camera, keyless entry, sunroof, climate and cruise control, you name it. Then again, you do pay the price. It looks okay value alongside a Volvo V90 Cross Country, but seems very expensive when compared to cars such as a Skoda Octavia Scout. Fuel economy isn't great either, and CO2 emissions are high. This ultimately hampers the Outback. It's spacious, well-built and generously equipped, but it's flawed in areas such as ride comfort, economy and interior ambience. It's a worthy car, but lacking the overall breadth of talents to take on some very formidable rivals.
We've already tested the newly facelift 2018 Nissan Qashqai, and today we're reviewing its tougher, slightly gnarlier big brother, the Nissan X-Trail. The two cars share much of their hardware, wrapped in different couture. The Qashqai mops up the large numbers of families who may be stepping from a hatchback or small family car, while the X-Trail is aimed more at folk who want more space, a smidge more mud pluggery and the ability to carry 6 passengers. This is an important car for Nissan. It claims the X-Trail is the world's biggest selling SUV with 766,000 sold globally in 2016, largely thanks to its rebadged status as the Nissan Rogue in the US, where it finds nearly 1/3 homes a year. It's also the company's flagship crossover, crowning one of the most diverse SUV ranges around, stretching from quirky Juke to slick Qashqai, practical X-Trail to chunky Navara pickup. What's new on the Nissan X-Trail for the 2018 facelift? This is a delicate, modest upgrade, it's fair to say. Nobody will fail to recognize this as an X-Trail in the new, Wider grille, bumpers and headlamp graphics provide only a little extra pizzazz. The front headlamps now included adaptive turning function on top-spec Tecna models equipped with LED lights. It's the first time this tech has featured on a Nissan car in Europe. You'll also spot the new 2018 model year Nissan X-Trail bi-rectangular, not circular, fog lights and the addition of 4 new colors, including rustic oranges, browns and ruby reds. Oh, and higher-spec models get chrome detailing along the flanks. What about the new 2018 Nissan X-Trail interior? In line with the Qashqai's facelift, the X-Trail cabin has been lightly revised, but it's hardly much to write home about. There's the same new flat-bottom steering wheel to make getting in and out easier and provide a better view of the dials. It's heated too. Yes, this is headline news on the 18 facelift. So not much has changed, but it remains an unremittingly practical, focused place to sit. Around 40% of Brits order the X-Trail as a 7-seater, and the 2 pop-up rear seats provide useful school run or get home from pub accommodation to children or adults, if they're prepared to squish a bit. The middle row slides back and forth to juggle space front and rear. Nissan says that nearly 2/3 of customers have outdoorsy hobbies. Bikers and hikers will love the big 565-liter boot, up 15 thanks to new, flatter boot side moldings. And waggle foot to open tailgate functionality is new for 2018, shame it takes an interminable 7 seconds to open. We'd rather DIY. It's all finished in the typically Nissan mass-market quality. This is no premium cabin, but it is well screwed together and feels built to last. The interior pictured above is equivalent to the UK's top Tecna trim, accounting for nearly half of all sales here. Cheap Lego-like plastics sit cheek by jowl alongside some smarter, softer touch materials. Of more interest is the new tech offered by the 2018 facelift. The rear seats can now be heated for the first time, though only as a bench, not individually. A new 8-speaker Bose stereo should delight audiophiles, and the usual host of electro gizmos is now offered: radar-controlled emergency braking, rear cross alert to warn if you're reversing into traffic. And ProPilot coming in 2018 will bring some light autonomous self-driving in jams and on highways. How does the new Nissan X-Trail drive? Considering the X-Trail and Qashqai share the same engineering hardware dubbed CNF1 since 2014's MK2, they drive in subtly different ways. Nissan has lavished more sound deadening and measures to quell noise, vibration and harshness, NVH, on the QQ than the X, and it shows. The X-Trail rides with more bounce and hop, especially on the bigger rims, up to 19 inches in diameter, and there's more engine noise from the 1.6 DCI2. Reflecting a modest extra bit of soft rotor DNA, the X-Trail rides on M&S all-seasons tires, where the Qashqai is shod with summer rubber. All in all, the Japanese-built X-Trail feels a bit more cumbersome than the Sunderland-produced Qashqai, and that should be no surprise. Its wheelbase is 70 mm longer, its body is taller and the curb weight is heavier. That it's louder too, with more wind and road noise, reflects how Nissan has added more sound deadening to the QQ crossover, with extra Teflon detailing on the door seals, no less, but not here. All are front-wheel drive, unless you spec AWD on either diesel. Traction is strong with all-wheel drive, and a slightly higher ride height means you can negotiate rural tracks and grassy fields with sure-footed security. The Nissan X-Trail misses out on some of the extra refinement lavished up on the 2018 model year Nissan Qashqai, and it shows. However, the X remains a sensible proposition if you need 7 seats, a big boot and a tough, family-friendly crossover. The Land Rover Discovery Sport drives better and the VW Tiguan rival smashes the quality issue, but the big Nissan fights back with a pleasing honesty. It's big, sensible, practical transport for large broods.